Hi, I'm Eileen Cabiling, and you are watching Rise and Shine.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, for the 10th time, let's meet Kami and Ronnie.
Good morning or afternoon or night, whenever you're watching this. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, Kami. I feel like that's a famous quote somewhere.
Welcome to your dreams, everybody.
Hello. Well, welcome to the 10th.
Did I hear that? Did I hear that voice correctly?
Yes,
Somebody
I think you
10?
did. I think somebody, some disembodied voice out there said that this is the 10th time Rise and Shine is shooting. So congratulations, Kami. You did a great job.
Congratulations, Ronnie. I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you.
Together.
It's a team effort. It's definitely a team effort. It's also an effort thanks to FilAm Creative. If anybody wants to know anybody more about FilAm Creative, follow us on socials.
Absolutely.
At FilAm Creative and on Facebook and Twitter. Always be plugging. So if you need to go back and watch any of our amazing episodes, we have people from Cobra Kai. We have people from the movie Lumpia Without a Vengeance. We have the director and the producer and one of the cast from Yellow Rose. So check it out. Kami's there, so you can see more of her.
And you're there.
And I am there for some.
Ronnie.
Thank you. I'm there for some of it. But you know who's there all the time, every single episode? Our amazing hosts. Let's give it up for. I'll go ahead and introduce Ed Malillan.
And Rex Sampaga.
Great show,
Hey,
guys.
everybody.
Hello.
Rise and shine, everyone.
Welcome to episode number 10. I just stopped here to introduce you and say congrats. So
Happy 10.
happy 10. Take it
Wow,
away.
are we in the double digit land now?
We are in double digits.
Oh,
Ronnie
pressure.
Ronnie gave us a 10 introduction, and Kami is a 10 co-host. And
Wow.
Rex, you're totally a 10.
Well, you're always a 10 in my book.
There. I think we need to have a 10 kind of episode today. So.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I mean, Kami and Ronnie, we're talking about who we've had as past guests, and as we're approaching the current awards season, I heard Yellow Rose is being nominated. I believe one of the nominations they got, and I just found this out, that the music supervisors for that movie is nominated for an industry music supervisor award for that. There were two of them, and I'm just so happy for that project, and the movie is just so fantastic. So they're up on other awards, as they say, for your consideration, but I know for sure they're up for the music supervisor award right now, which is freaking great.
Congratulations to our friends Diane and Princess and Jeremiah, who were guests on one of our previous episodes, one of the previous 9. So we're always happy about that. So So
yes, always advancing. Trying to bring more awareness to what we put out there. So this is great.
And even for us, it's been 10 shows, and Rex, when we thought about doing Rise and Shine originally, I mean, even though it's only been 10 episodes, I think of how we've evolved. We had a lot of segments planned, and then our interviews kind of went a little long in a good way, because we got such good dialogue out of our such good information from our guests. So we started to put more focus on our guests, and so even in 10 episodes, you can evolve a lot, and it's just been great.
Yeah, I mean, to think that this initially was supposed to be just a podcast, but just for the two, we didn't even come up with the initial, Rise and Shine concept. It was just supposed to be a podcast about two guys talking about music, I think.
Exactly. And then we decided to talk about everything. And
and I think just because, if there's anything positive, because Ronnie brought this up, that we're still inside our homes and everything for the most part. This has been one of the more positive things that's come out of all of this. And
yes.
for me personally, since we all been inside, I've been to some music concerts, and I even went to a virtual conference, all Zoom, and it's way different, but the positives is you don't have to get in your car, put the gas and travel and all that stuff. But I do miss the interaction with the audience. I think that's what a lot of people are missing out these days and everything. So
I miss that
but
interaction. Yeah. But
Yeah.
on a positive light, especially for like Rise and Shine, speaking, I mean, going back again to Yellow Rose, two of our three guests that morning were in New York, and obviously with the pandemic and doing a lot of things online, that has really enabled us to have guests who we might not have been able to have in the past, because we don't have to worry about, obviously in a local standpoint, for those of you who don't know, we're broadcasting here from Southern California, Los Angeles, but we don't have to worry about parking, we don't have to worry about traffic to the studio. But then we can have guests from New York. In a few weeks we've got guests from San Diego, and so all our guests are able to be interviewed mostly from the comfort of their own home. We had John Briones eating breakfast while he was talking with us in one of our previous episodes. So there's a lot of positives to being online, and obviously we've saved a tremendous amount of money on set costs, or lack of set costs, and we don't have any catering bills or anything like that. I'd love to buy Eileen a cup of coffee, but
most definitely, yes, most definitely. I mean, I think when all of this is over, I think one of the goals of Rise and Shine, and I'll put it out there right now, maybe we'll do the traveling mobile version of Rise and Shine, and maybe we'll invade one of your towns here in California, whether it be San Diego or even the Bay Area, or even points beyond that, just so that we can get that interaction back with the community, because the community is not just about here in Southern California and LA, it's all about, all over the country and all over the world. And that's what we're trying to do here, is build those connections with Rise and Shine and the Filipino community and everything. So I mean, that's just one of the goals. I'm putting it out there. So, we might take this out on the road, maybe a Rise and Shine touring show. I don't know.
Absolutely.
that would just be wonderful. Wonderful to have nowadays. So, but until then, we are at episode 10. And as I say, onwards and upwards. And we got a fabulous guest today. And Ed, why don't you just give the backstory and how we found our next guest?
Absolutely. So like many of our guests, they're either friends of ours, or if they're not, they become friends of ours. And the reason that we were able to meet this first guest is because her short film has been everywhere. Her short film has been making the rounds in the festivals. And when Rex and I were talking about potential guests to bring on, her film came up, her name came up, and we decided, wow, this is definitely someone who we want to have on the show. So our first guest today, I keep saying that, our first guest.
That's okay. Yes.
It's like I watch too many of these like the Tonight Show.
The talk shows, right?
Exactly. My first guest. So our only guest, our featured guest today,
yes,
is a graduate fellow from the American Film Institute, AFI. How about that? And she is also the writer, director, producer behind Basurero. We want to bring out our guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, put it up for Eileen Cabiling. Good morning.
Hey.
Rise and shine, Eileen.
Rise and shine.
Now, Eileen, not everyone has seen your film that's been making the rounds, but so before we start, or as we get into it, tell us a little bit about Basurero.
Basurero is a short film, and it is all filmed in the Philippines, and it is inspired by an Al Jazeera report. It was a report where they interviewed a fisherman who had been dumping bodies killed in the current administration's drug war. And he had killed like 18 or 20, dumped about 18 or 20 bodies. And then he came across a body that he had to dump of someone he knew. And that really struck me. But what struck me even more so is why would someone, what it must be like to be dumping bodies and to be in that situation and doing it for the money. And then the whole idea of the system, and a system that values some people more than others. So a lot of that is a lot of the themes that I want to explore as a Filipino filmmaker.
And so the title itself, what does it translate to in English?
Basurero means the guy who dumps the trash. Yeah, and so in the article or in the news segment, the code word for dumping the bodies was trash. So they called the bodies trash.
Mm. Wow.
And these were drug users or drug sellers or who knows, you know.
Right.
And what was it like shooting? You were born and raised here in the States, and so I know you mentioned when we were chatting before we started rolling that you had lived in the Philippines for a few years. When you were in the Philippines, it was specifically to shoot Basurero, correct?
Yes, I went there to make the film, and then I ended up staying there, yeah, for over 2.5 years.
Mm. Wow.
A lot of it is, well, first of all, the film didn't go as planned. When we first started filming, we were hit by typhoon, so I had to push the film date because my actor is a big actor there, so he has a very tight schedule. So once we pushed, I had to push by a couple months, I think, a little over a couple months. Same with my cinematographer, and it was a shock for me because this is my first really complex film to direct, and it was just a bit of a shock that this big storm was coming our way. And you know, my film is about fishermen, so we were out in sea, and that just wasn't going to happen. So it was a big shock, and it was also a big shock to my budget because this whole film was paid by crowdfunders. I crowdfunded this film, so I lost 15% of the money I had raised. And that was a big shock too. But in the end, it was a blessing because I have never lived in the Philippines. I went there on and off throughout my whole childhood and then in my 20s and stuff. But I'd never really lived there, and it really gave me the opportunity to have more time to spend with the fishermen and to explore the world and the story, and also, you know, my fellow Filipinos, talk to them about the ideas and the issues, and my collaborators. So in the end, it was a blessing, and I think the story became even more authentic, I think, because I was able to really immerse myself in the world and around people who were really dealing with this. And you know, I interviewed a lot of people and spent a lot of time, you know, in the fishing village, and then also spent a lot of time with journalists and human rights activists, and just, you know, my family and other Filipinos. So it was awesome, and it was a real blessing. I think you know, things happen for a reason.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, so after the weather delays and everything, how many production days did it take for you to shoot the short film?
I think we shot it in 6 days.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful film.
Yeah,
For letting us
it
watch
is beautiful. I mean, even just taking those shots in the boat, that's just fabulous. It's like, wow. I mean, just hanging out with the fishermen, you feel like you're right there. The way it's shot and everything, it's just beautiful.
It was fun shooting on boats.
I bet.
Philippines.
What now you said before that after you shot the film, you decided to stay on in the Philippines for a while. What were some factors that affected that decision? Like what was so appealing to you to stay there for so much longer?
I wanted to continue with my Filipino team. And so the whole post-production team is Filipino as well. And so I just decided, yeah, I felt like this was a very Filipino story taking place in the Philippines. So I felt that the collaborations, it was really important to have Filipinos from the Philippines, I think, on my team for this one, because they brought so much to the table. And so, yeah, I decided to stay there. And I really, was loving it in many ways. It was a very cathartic experience for me. My mom came and spent time there as well. I mean, she spends time there all the time, but she and I spent time there, and I was, able to travel a little bit. And I
Now,
really met with the Filipino filmmaking community. It was
and
great.
where in the Philippines were you?
I
Did,
was in Manila,
okay.
yeah, so Quezon City mostly,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
and then I would go into the more cool areas like Poblacion and Makati, places like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of the things that FilAm Creative has done in the past is we have one of our board of directors, Walter Boholst. He produced an event in which he talked about shooting in the Philippines. And a lot of the members of FilAm Creative are filmmakers. They're interested in film in the industry. Talk to us, Eileen, about what you observe. Obviously, you've done a lot of your professional work in the States, but talk about the differences of shooting in the Philippines. What's that like? How did you enjoy it? What are the advantages of it? How about the costs? Talk about that for us.
Well, I learned so much from filming with the Filipino crew because, like you said, I am trained and have worked on many American indie films, especially. And then I've worked in the studios here as well. But yeah, I think the way I describe it to people is very cathartic because it's more the way of thinking and the way of approaching problems that was very different. Like Filipinos, I'm sure you've heard the saying "bahala na." It's very, it's a good saying and a bad saying depending on who you talk with. For me, it was a very spiritual saying because it means you're just going to trust that everything is going to be okay. It's just going to happen. Just let it happen. Let it unfold. It's sort of this, just trusting, God, trusting the universe, which is something that on American films, it's insane, right? Everything needs to be controlled, and it is like the military. And I mean, I remember working on a film where I had to get a bagel, and I had an AD yelling all over the set, like, "Where's that bagel for the actor?" Stuff like that. Whereas in the Philippines, they're like, "Do you have a walkie-talkie? You don't need one, do you?" You know what I mean? It's a very and when major problems happened, they would approach the problems, but it wasn't the end of the world. You know what I mean? It wasn't, whereas I have found working on American sets, one of the sayings that came after several years of working in production is, "We're not saving lives here, everyone." You know what I mean? But people are so insane and so intense and so like, get it done, now. Oh yeah, sense of time is very different in the Philippines, which is also kind of true with Filipinos here in the States, Filipino time. So that was very different. But yes, I think it's different. They work really long hours in the Philippines. Some films they'll work 24 hours straight. That I couldn't do. I told them that I couldn't do that because, after 10 hours I zone out. But also my one non-Filipino on my team crew was my cinematographer, who's a really good friend of mine from film school. And he came in from Korea. And no way was he going to work 24 hours. In Korea, they've gotten down to like 4-day work weeks on films. So yeah. The pay is definitely very different in the Philippines. And also I found that a lot of crew will work on more than one film at a time. And so, yeah, the pay is a lot less in the Philippines. And they don't really have unions, like we have here. So there's a lot of that going on. The other thing that kind of struck me that worried me a little bit is there's no real insurance. So, my film, we were on boats, we were running through, rickety fishing village slums. And so it was a little bit worrisome because I'm so used to like making sure that if someone gets hurt, but
Yeah, I
again,
noticed.
bahala na.
Yeah, 'cause- yeah, I know. I noticed in the film there were a lot of exteriors. I mean, you were on the
Yes,
in the
I even thought through
bay.
something.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess insurance, the whole concept of that is probably
Now,
not
it sounds like you obviously had a lot of positives from it, but you mentioned that like there's no unions, and so it's a little different. Did that present challenges to you in terms of finding crew? I know you said you're a cinematographer who's Korean. I'm assuming they're from the States. But like, what about finding crew? Did you have trouble doing that because of the lack of unions, or were you able to find the personnel you needed? Was that a longer process in the Philippines than here?
Well, I had two sets of crews kind of because of the typhoon. And again, they work and they work and work. So the second time around, I had to bring on another crew. Um, I worked with a Filipino producer, Darlene Malimas. She also produced Lingua Franca. She's produced, I think, 3 of Isabel's films, and she's based in the Philippines. So I just co-produced with her her production company, and then we brought on a line production company called G Ward and Gorio Vicuna and PJ Vicuna. They actually used to live here in the States, but now they've created a production company there. So yeah, I looked for producers who have worked globally and have worked with foreign crews before, or have come from the US or somewhere, because yes, there is a bit of a difference in approach. And I did bring a US producer with me who came to help me when we were filming, because we've known each other for so long, and he's Puerto Rican American.
Oh,
And he
wow.
was trying to implement the US way of paperwork and scheduling and all of that. And again, that was a real lesson for me, because when you're working with a different culture and a different perspective, whether it be Philippines or anywhere else, there has to be an adapting to each other's ways, right? And so so I think he and I really learned that you have to kind of work with the way they work, and then meanwhile still meet your needs. So you have to kind of create a new system. So that's what we did. We created our own little system of production. But yeah, like my production designer was Filipino. All my crew, the costume and hair and makeup and editing, and yeah, it was really amazing to spend time with them, and other filmmakers as well. And so it was a really great experience. I think if you do want to go produce a film in the Philippines, I just partner with people on the ground who know everyone. The Filipino film industry is not that big compared to here. Everyone knows each other, pretty much.
They're probably all related. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Now, I know that the film has been having a great run in festivals, and I know that you have talked about wanting to evolve and turn this into a feature. Talk to us a little bit about that, and then also, will you remain in the Philippines for that?
For the next stage, for the feature. Yeah, well, I have dual citizenship now. And so, yeah, I that was one of the things that I decided to do when I was living there, because I really loved it in many ways, and I felt really akin to my experiences there. And but my plan is still I'm still very American, so it's still in my vision to make Filipino American films as well. But yeah, so the evolution of the feature, yeah, it's basically when you watch the short, you could see that it could really expand and become a feature, and that wasn't actually intentional necessarily. It was really exploratory. The film itself, I was really just exploring a topic, and I was really exploring a situation, and I was really exploring a psyche that really resonated with me. This idea of being stuck and not feeling valued in the world. Something that I feel like I grew up here in the East Coast and had to kind of overcome myself. So that was what the short was about. And I think like my actor Jericho really loved it and wants, really wanted to make it into a feature. And so I did. I sat and worked on trying to create it into a feature. But then I was inspired by some journalists in Manila about how the drug war is being approached in the Philippines. And it's so much focused on the killers and the killing and the killed, which is really important because thousands, I mean, human rights people are saying like 27,000, extrajudicial killings, whereas, the administration is saying 5,500.
I saw that in the credits. The discrepancy was just staggering.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I'm an optimistic person, and I really am wanting to be in this vein or this narrative of the solution, and so I started looking into what people are doing in the Philippines to solve this that is humane, and it stands up for human rights and human value. And that's where I came across these really visionary folks in Caloocan City, actually, that have started a community rehab program. I think it's like a few years old now, and it's the very first concept of community rehab in all of the Philippines. So yeah, I came across that and started attending the sessions and was so moved. It's run by like priests and nuns and social workers and city workers, and it's very community based. So they support each other and they have mentorships, and it involves family. And it really is a humane program that devillainizes addiction. Because in the Philippines, addiction is seen as a sin in many ways, and also seen as, it's very black and white for many people there. And that's why we've had so many killings. It's okay to kill someone who has a drug problem. We call it the villainization. And so a lot of it is, I think, as a Filipino or Filipina, for me, what I'm so passionate about this subject matter is the psychology within it, this sense of like second class citizens or less than or less value than, and how do we claim that space and claim that voice, and how do we claim it inside of ourselves when you've been living generation after generation, after generation of this, you're not good enough, or you're not as good as this, and if you do this you're a bad person, and you're not allowed to be human almost, and
You're referred to as trash. So
yes, in the article they call the bodies trash, and the dead bodies trash. So.
Wow. Yeah, that whole concept about if a human has a weakness or a frailty, that's just looked down upon. That's just completely wrong. In my opinion, it's just completely wrong about that. And I'm glad that, in your feature, as you're developing it, you're going to bring light upon the reform, the recovery of a person, or people who have, addictions or other types of human weaknesses or frailties and everything that's unfortunately looked down upon in the Philippines. That's very, very surprising to me. And yeah, it is a psychology kind of thing. And it's, unfortunately, the administration over there has kind of like, reinforced that whole thing. It's about punishment. It's about, we'll just punish you, and there's no recourse for reform or recovery, for that, for those people and everything. And I'm glad you're going to shed some light upon that. And I'm happy that your short film Basurero is bringing light upon just the issue itself and everything. Could you just tell our audience which film festivals it's been seen upon, and you mentioned about another film festival online, virtual, so you could just tell our audience, where the film has been seen thus far.
Well, it came out right before the lockdown, so it's and mostly online festivals, and some
Wow.
were kind of canceled. But yeah, so it opened. World premiered at a huge festival in Asia. It's like the Cannes of Asia, I guess, from what
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
explain to Busan in
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
very
I
nice.
got
Very
to walk
nice.
a red carpet, which I've never done before, with all the K-pop stars. That was cool.
Oh my gosh.
Um, yeah, and
Yes,
that
they're
was
very
really
popular. Yes, all the K-pop groups. Yes.
yeah, and they chose it's really for it's a film market, so they chose like
Mm,
20 films, 20 short films, but it's mostly features and it's a big market. But they really take care of you. They pay for everything. They pay for your
wow.
transportation, your hotel, your food, lots
Wow.
of gatherings. And I met filmmakers, mostly Asian filmmakers, but filmmakers from Iran,
Mm.
Thailand, Cambodia, Azerbaijan.
Oh my
It's an
gosh.
amazing festival. Yeah, it was really it was my first, and it was yeah, and just it was wonderful, and for our film to show there and um have discussions about it was really great. And then I went to Europe. I went to Tampere, which is a short film festival in Finland. um
Mm.
and that I think it's like the third it's the one of the third top. It is the third top short film festival in Europe. Um, and so I met filmmakers from all over the world there. And yeah, I mean, they had like 100 films short films that they showed, which included Finnish films and then a bunch of films from all over the
All the
world.
world. Yeah.
And so that was really wild. But then that was exactly a year ago. So that's when, yeah, everything shut down. And I got stuck in Finland for, a while. I ended up staying there for 3 months.
Oh my,
um,
were you in Helsinki? Were you in
no,
Helsinki?
I was outside Helsinki. I was in
Okay.
Tampere. Yeah.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
finally was supposed to go back to Manila, but then that was all the rules were really confusing. So I just rerouted and came back home to the US, came back to LA. Um, and after that, well, the one that's the saddest for me is the San Francisco International Film Festival.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
one was next, like right when COVID happened. And we were nominated also for the Golden Gate Award.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, and it was going to show at the Roxy. Like they had two
Oh my
screenings, the
goodness.
Roxy, yeah, that was really yeah. And then after that was a bunch of online. So here in LA, the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is a dream come true for me. In the
Yeah.
Philippines, it premiered at the Cinemalaya Film Festival, which is the cultural center of the Philippines. And
Yes.
I've
Yes.
attended that festival. You know, and that was a dream come true for me as well. And then
Wow.
it's shown like San Diego Asian Film Festival, Vancouver Asian Film Festival, Asian American International Festival in New York, and it has shown in different countries like Portugal, Madrid Human Rights Film Festival. There's so many, and the upcoming ones are the Virgin Media Dublin International Film
Oh
Festival.
my
There's a
gosh. Yeah.
huge film festival in Europe.
Mm.
Again, they definitely focus a lot on the features. Minari is showing there as well,
Yes.
but
Yes.
they're part of the short program. Winterthur in Switzerland and Freiburg, and we're going to Nepal.
Oh my gosh. Woo.
This is great.
Yeah, I really am just really grateful that this story is being put out, because I received an email today from someone here in the States who watched it, and she said she didn't even know. That's happened a lot in Europe and in festivals that aren't Asian oriented. They don't
Mhm.
even know about the drug war. They don't even know what's happening. So, um,
Well, congratulations on that. I mean,
Yes.
just the fact that it's just being seen by a wider audience all over the world, not just here in the United States or back home in the Philippines. I mean, just the number of eyeballs that are getting to see it and you're bringing awareness to the whole
Well,
situation back home in the Philippines. That's just congratulations on that. That's just
thank
great.
you. Thanks.
why
Yeah,
don't
that's
we?
really important for me.
Yes. Yes.
Well, why don't we show Rex? Why don't we show the trailer? Let's take a look at the trailer so that everyone can see what a great film this is. So, Jeremiah, backstage there. Jeremiah, why don't you roll the trailer for us?
Ang dagat na walang mahuli ay isang palengkeng walang isda. Tulad ng pitakang walang pera.
Net, di mo na naman ako babayaran. Sumbong kaya ka sa mga vigilante. Para sa basura.
Okay, welcome to 13 Things, one of the great segments of Rise and Shine. We're here today with a guest. Guest, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Eileen Cabiling, the filmmaker.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're going to ask a series of questions, and Eileen is going to give us some quick, short answers. So, Jeremiah, can you please put 13 seconds on the clock? And Rex, let's go.
All right, Eileen, let's get to know you a little bit. Okay, so you're a filmmaker. Could you recommend for us your 4 favorite filmmakers?
My 4 favorite filmmakers: Lina Broca from the Philippines, iconic filmmaker, Wong Kar-wai, Lynn Ramsey, and I really love Chloe Zhao.
Wow, okay, great. Okay, so there's a little different question here. If you were not a filmmaker, what would you be doing instead?
I think I would be a painter.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what's your biggest distraction, good or bad, preventing you from accomplishing more?
Gummy candies.
That's great. Ooh, wow, you're hitting a great nerve on our part. Okay, so Eileen, so if you could run a nonprofit organization, what type of cause would it benefit?
It would be giving street kids in the Philippines self-confidence and self-value.
Oh, wow, that's great. So what's something peculiar about you that not a lot of people know you about?
Oh, I see auras.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
too.
You probably mentioned this in our interview, but your favorite place in the Philippines?
Oh, Coron, Palawan.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So I guess this could be a redundant question then. So what's the most beautiful place you've ever seen?
Coron, Palawan.
Okay, so I'll give you some types of locations and you tell us what you would like to do out there. Okay, so your first location is, what would you like to do outdoors?
Go to the beach and swim.
If you were in your living room?
Read.
If you were in the Philippines?
If I was in the Philippines, go to the beach and swim.
Again, this might be a redundant question. If you were on vacation?
If I was on vacation, I love exploring.
Nice.
Yeah,
If you, okay. If you were online on your computer?
Oh, I love watching inspirational videos and videos on like the full moon and the new moon.
Oh, wow, nice. And I think we just had a full moon the other night. And the last location, if you were in your bedroom?
That's my bedroom. Oh, in my bedroom, I read a lot.
All right. Well, Eileen, now it's time to get a little more serious. Let's get a little more serious, Eileen.
Okay, yeah,
What are your 4 favorite foods or types of foods that you got to have?
My 4 favorite foods. Filipino, of course. You know, I love adobo and I love Filipino breakfast. It's my guilty pleasure. And I love Italian. I love pizza. And I'm a real fan of Indian food.
Oh,
yeah.
Singing my song.
And I really love Vietnamese food.
I love it. All right, Indian food after this episode. Family recipes. What family recipe of yours is better than mine?
Oh gosh, probably our adobo, but everyone says that.
All right. Here's some answers. Choose your answers. You can only have one. Spam, corned beef, Vienna sausage.
Corned beef.
Let's have some balut. Yes or no?
No.
Favorite Filipino dessert?
Leche flan.
Favorite non-Filipino dessert?
Ice cream.
Favorite boba?
Taro.
Favorite chocolate?
Peanut butter cups.
Favorite fruit?
Cherries.
Favorite alcoholic beverage?
Aperol spritz.
All right, now let's get really personal. Do you have plastic wrapped around your remote control or anything at home?
Not me, but most of my family, yes.
Can you recommend one Filipino or Filipino American book, movie, or TV show?
Lino Broca's Manila in the Claws of Light.
All right, let's play mahjong. Are you good?
No.
Have you ever been stood up on a date?
Yes.
Have you ever dumped someone?
Yes.
Cool. All right, now look into the camera directly and say one sentence to your haters.
You be you.
Love it. Rex, it's all
Okay.
you.
Okay, Eileen. This is our final question for 13 things. So let's reverse roles. You get to be the guest host of Rise and Shine. Which Filipino or Asian guest would you like to interview, dead or alive?
Lino Broca. Yeah, he's, an iconic filmmaker who really explored the psyche of the Filipino, and how complicated we are and complex and how many layers we have from, the indigenous all the way through colonization, and being a developing kind of ongoing, evolving culture all over the world. So he would be the one.
Wow, that's amazing.
Great answer. Great answer. Well, we want to thank Eileen Cabiling for being our guest on 13 Things. Don't forget, please, to subscribe to 13 Things and Rise and Shine on YouTube or where you listen to your favorite podcasts. Okay, great 13 Things. I feel like I've learned so much about Eileen. And Eileen, just like we always say to our guests, but it's not cliche, please come back to Rise and Shine again. We would love to have you. As a lover of Indian food, yes, please bring Indian food back to Rise and Shine. And Rex, what you got?
Well, thank you, Eileen. Congratulations on the short film Basurero. And, I hope that a lot more people get to see this film. It just brings you're bringing a lot of shine and a lot of awareness to what's going on back home in the Philippines. And we thank you for bringing your passion to this film. And we look forward to your many more accomplishments as a filmmaker. And we'd love to feature you and your feature films on Rise and Shine and with FilAm Creative.
We do want to give a spoiler alert that we are going to do our best to bring a screening of your film to FilAm Creative. We kind of know the guys at FilAm Creative, so I think
we do. Yeah, we might not know the guys. I don't know.
I think Ed and Rex and Walter and Ron have a discussion. It'll be a thumbs up. So I think we'll be seeing you again.
Wow, thank you so much. And thank you so much. I just am so excited about Rise and Shine and FilAm Creative. And I'm just it's kind of just amazing to see Filipinos coming together in the creative realm for writers and directors and all kinds of art. And that's what it's really a long time coming, right? And it's so inspirational that you are making this happen. I think that's how we are going to heal and become stronger and then claim our space is together. And I think it's amazing. And we're part of the revolution. It's awesome. So thank you so much.
We're everywhere, Eileen. Filipinos are everywhere. We
are.
We are everywhere.
Okay, so this is our 10th episode. Again, thank you so much to Eileen on behalf of Rex and Ronnie and Kami, and of course myself. Thanks for 10 episodes. Here's to 10 times 10 more. Rex, I think we avoided it.
Oh my gosh. I hope I don't see her today. I hope we don't see her today. Oh my gosh. 10 episodes.
Thank you.
Oh, please don't come. Oh,
okay,
no.
Wait. I've heard all these questions about going to digital cinema, going online to watch movies. You guys are doing it wrong. Now, all you have to do, so what I do, I live across the street from a drive-in theater, and all I have to do is climb out my window, go onto my roof, and that's how I can see all the free movies I want in this pandemic. I don't What's so hard about it? I just don't understand. And now you're here.
And why are you here? Why are you here?
Advice. I'm here to read the credits, and I'm here to get paid. All right. So everyone, listen. Rise and Shine with FilAm Created was created, casted, hosted, produced.
Veronica, this is not profit.
Directed by Edward J. Malillan, Rex A. Sampaga. I know those guys are ballin'. All right. How were they able to get such good guests if they weren't ballin'? All right. So, our Rise and Shine stars are Kami, my sister Ronnie, and me. Because for some reason I'm the co-star, even though I'm the most relevant person here. And let's see here. What else do I gotta read here for the money? Oh, the technical director is Jeremiah, who's, he's all right. The stage director is my sister Ronnie. Don't know why. I can do the exact same job as her. Some people say we even look alike. I don't know about that. And finally, today's guest is the iconic Eileen Cabiling. Real great person. Don't know why she wants to be with Ed and Rex, but to each their own. FilAm Creative. FilAm Creative. Rise and Shine is a production of FilAm Creative and is licensed in association with RAS Music Group, Millennius LLC. And let me guess, I should stay here that FilAm Creative was co-founded by, you guessed it, Ed and Rex. So follow the show on Twitter, Finstagram, Finagram, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, all of those. And don't forget to check out the new episodes that are on YouTube, because we all know you're not up this early in the morning anyway. My name is Veronica, your heroine, once again, saving the people. Rise and shine, everybody. Rise and shine.
Hey everyone, Rex here with Rise and Shine. Did you know there's not one, not two, but 3 different ways you could check out our weekly Rise and Shine episodes? New episodes drop every Tuesday on our YouTube channel at RiseAndShineFAC. And you can listen to the Rise and Shine podcast as you commute to work or walking your daily steps by downloading Rise and Shine wherever you get your favorite podcast. And lastly, you can always join our live audience tapings on Facebook Live, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 3 different ways you could fill up on your Rise and Shine diet every week. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at RiseAndShineFAC and watch new episodes every Tuesday, or download us wherever you get your favorite podcast. And thanks again for watching and listening to Rise and Shine.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, it's Ed. Thanks for listening today. And did you guys know that Rise and Shine is part of the FilAm Creative umbrella and that we're a registered nonprofit? And as a nonprofit organization, FilAm Creative depends on generous donations from fine folks like you to help us to continue to produce great programming like Rise and Shine. Please consider making a donation to help produce shows like Rise and Shine. Our Venmo is at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And if you don't do Venmo, but you still want to donate a few quid to us, then drop us an email at RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. That's RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com, and we'll help you out. We at Rise and Shine appreciate your generosity. Every dollar helps.
Hey, Rex here with Rise and Shine, and I want you to do something for me. Help support Rise and Shine by liking, subscribing, and following the show online. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, all under at RiseAndShineFAC. So follow the show on all social media platforms on all one word at RiseAndShineFAC. Thanks again for all the love and support, and tell all your friends about Rise and Shine.
Rise and shine! This is Kami. I hope you're enjoying the show. Did you know we have a mailing list? And did you know that you can contact us if you want to say hello to Ed, Rex, Ronnie, Veronica, or even me? Just send us an email at RiseAndShineFAC. That's one word spelled out, RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. Again, that's RiseAndShineFAC, all spelled out, @gmail.com. Join our mailing list so you can be the first to find out about the latest Rise and Shine news.
Rise and shine. Hey everyone, this is Ed, and I got a question for you. Did you know that Rise and Shine is only one of the many things produced by FilAm Creative? That's right, FilAm Creative has been producing great stuff, like Rise and Shine, for over 10 years. If you want to learn more about the premier Filipino-American organization that has been the #1 advocate for the Asian American entertainment community for over a decade, then visit our website at filamcreative.org. That's filamcreative.org. Learn more about the organization that produces your favorite show, Rise and Shine.
Hi, this is Walter Boholst. I'm proud to be one of the co-founders of FilAm Creative and serve as a member of the board of directors. In case you didn't know about us, I'd like to share with you our mission statement. FilAm Creative Incorporated educates and advocates for the Filipino-American entertainment community and all looking for a collaborative workspace in order to achieve greater representation and career advancement. Although we're based in Southern California, FilAm Creative's reach can be felt worldwide. If you're interested in joining us behind the scenes to produce or promote our many programs and initiatives, visit our website at filamcreative.org. That's filamcreative.org. And contact us to learn how you can join our cause. For students, we also have internships available for you to gain valuable experience. Visit us to learn more at filamcreative.org.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, it's Ed. Thanks for listening today. And did you guys know that Rise and Shine is part of the FilAm Creative umbrella and that we're a registered nonprofit? And as a nonprofit organization, FilAm Creative depends on generous donations from fine folks like you to help us to continue to produce great programming like Rise and Shine. Please consider making a donation to help produce shows like Rise and Shine. Our Venmo is at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And if you don't do Venmo, but you still want to donate a few quid to us, then drop us an email at RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. That's RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com, and we'll help you out. We at Rise and Shine appreciate your generosity. Every dollar helps.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, Ronnie here. I know my sister Veronica likes to mess with the crew, but we all really work hard to produce a quality program for you. Rise and Shine is produced by FilAm Creative in association with RAS Music Group and Millennius LLC. Rise and Shine is written, created, produced, and hosted by Ed Malillan and Rex Sampaga. It also features Veronica Cañeso, Kami Koyamko, and me, Ronnie Cañeso. I'm also our show's stage director, which isn't easy when you gotta keep Ed and Rex in check. And finally, our amazing technical director is Jeremiah Castro. Thanks for tuning in every week to FilAm Creative's #1 show, Rise and Shine.